Hi everyone and welcome to Review Mirror Education. Today we're going to be talking about screen time and whether it's a boon or a bane. I'm an educator and I get this from parents all the time. My child spends too much time in front of the TV. My child is spending too much time on his or her iPad. Save us, you're the teacher. If you tell my child not to be on the screen, he or she is going to listen to you for sure. To this, I usually respond, hey, I'm guilty of the same thing. It's difficult to look after a family, look after the household when there's a pandemic on the prowl. We're in lockdown all the time, and it does get difficult to keep everybody constantly engaged. So I do the same thing. I have been guilty of giving my children additional screen time in various forms. And the thing about feeling guilty is that it usually leaves you feeling pretty inadequate later on. And I wanted to reflect on why we feel this sense of inadequacy when this is something that a lot of people are doing and something that might even be a necessity in today's day and age. As I reflected on why I felt inadequate as a parent, I began to think about what I would be doing traditionally if I was raising my children in normal circumstances. And that's when I began realizing that our guilt and our feelings of inadequacy probably stem from the fact that we are not doing the things that we thought we would be doing with our children. We're not playing hopscotch with them. We're not going on nature walks with them. We're not being able to take them for play dates and do all of the things that we so looked forward towards to doing when we became parents. And now we're in uncharted territory. There is no right or wrong answer, and there's certainly no expert telling us whether what we're doing is right. Will what I do today affect my child 10 years down the line? I think that's a fear that most parents have. And there's no one who can tell us whether we're getting it right or wrong, horribly wrong, in fact. So I think that's a big fear for parents when it comes to screen time, because it makes children go into a different realm entirely. Children are on another planet when they're on their devices, and I think most parents can attest to that. They're unreachable somehow. And in a way that makes us think that if they're so unattainable, then we can't protect them there. It's a whole new world, and it's a world that they're exploring on their own. And they might grow up too fast if they spend time on the screen. Yet every generation has these huge leaps, and they are raised differently from the generation before. In the same way, the generation that we are raising is going to deal with technology, and will have to learn to deal with technology spectacularly. And as an educator, I truly love technology. I have thrived during the pandemic because I could use so many tech tools, and I could see young learners enjoying their lessons despite a pandemic, despite being online. I could pull young children into my lessons seamlessly. And for me, it has so many pros. Technology has so many wonderful things that it can do for our young ones that I don't, I don't feel the need to label technology as a boon or a bane. Instead, I want everyone to know that technology is here to stay, right? We can't do away with technology. We cannot shield children from technology. Rather, having a good balance of technology in your home is probably the key to success. Now, when a lot of parents come to me during PTM, they are upset because their children boss them around a bit and they love their devices. So I just feel that as an adult, I promised my husband that I would not go on Facebook for so long during the day. So as an adult, I understand that screen time isn't optimal and that I need to cut back on my screen time. So in the same way, a child shouldn't be exposed to too much screen time either. However, they're too young to understand that sometimes. So I think it's important that whatever time they're spending studying, online or in front of a screen, that's required. I feel that that isn't something that the child is asking for, it's something that the child has to do. So the kind of screen time that a child is looking at is probably post that time. So we need to understand that. We need to create a checklist perhaps with our child to ensure that the child understands that tech after school is a privilege. It's not part of the routine. Just because I'm free doesn't mean that I open up my phone and I sit on it despite having guests or despite having other things to do. Life would never carry on like that. In the same way, we need to communicate better with our children to make them understand that technology is a privilege. Why not co-construct a checklist or a to-do list with the child to make them understand that there are certain things that you need to do before you get your device. And after that, you can have it for a stipulated amount of time. So if you finish your homework and you do 2 chores out of the given 5, once you show me all those things, you can have your iPad for an hour. I think it's a win-win situation for everyone. And children usually will rebel at some point of time. All parents know children love pushing boundaries and breaking rules. So here I would suggest, don't cave. Don't cave when the child comes to you and says, oh, but mom, just 10 minutes more and half an hour more, and oh, tomorrow I'll do my homework. Don't give in. Because my mantra in life has always been, don't do anything that you don't want to become a habit. Because trust me, habits only form if you keep doing them again and again. So either the child realizes that you're the parent that's going to buckle and they're going to push you every single time, forming that habit, or you can create the tone for the right habit by saying, listen, your hour is up. You want to do 2 more chores, you can have another hour if you're okay with that. Or say, that's enough screen time for today. You need to rest your eyes. We'll talk about it again tomorrow. But always, don't do anything you don't want to make a habit. Think of it from your perspective and the child's perspective. That being said, I'd like to sum up with technology being a huge factor in everyone's life. So keep it in mind as you make daily tech decisions with your child. You're not going to be able to shield your child forever. You're not going to be able to stop them from screen time forever. Instead, you can together make healthier choices for what suits your family. Your perfect situation might not be somebody else's perfect balance. So you need to figure that out on your own. Use your child's inputs to come up with a system that suits all of you. Everyone in the family needs to be happy, and the child needs to understand that too. I hope you got some tips from this session, and it's time for you to reflect on whether technology is a boon or bane for you. If you have anything you'd like to comment or you'd like to share, please write it in the comment section below. See you next time.